Hello, I'm RJ City, and you are listening to the MonsterCast. You're going to talk about Bela Lugosi. They're going to talk about Lon Chaney Jr. be so sad, holding his hat, saying, "Please put me in this room and don't unlock the door." And you can't do any better than the Doll Brothers. Jack and Ryan, they're brothers, but they're also bros. What? Pardon? Wrestling. Well, who the hell wants to talk about wrestling? These are horror movies. It's a deep genre. It's a smart genre. Fantastic actors. Fantastic cinematography. Wrestling is just sweating and fireworks and bouncy ropes. There's nothing to have. You talk about that every week. All right. Let's see them try. Take it away, you crazy dolls.
What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful here. You're watching the MonsterCast with Jack and Ryan. A big shout out to those fellas. Good people. Check them out.
Jake and Brian. Brandon Cutler here from AEW, and I hope you guys have an awesome podcast with the MonsterCast. What was that? Your name is Jack and Ryan? Shut up, Jack and Ryan.
Wrestling podcast? How fucking original.
I guess you're welcome.
Here's your host of the MonsterCast, the Straight Edge Monster Jack and Ryan.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the MonsterCast. I'm your host, the Straight Edge Monster Jack. That's Ryan. Big show for you today. A lot of shit going on. A lot of my shit is outdated, so we're changing it on the fly here. Didn't have a show the last couple weeks. Last week was COVID reasons. The week before that is Ryan was in Snorlax mode.
Well, hold on. To clarify, it's hunting season started. So I pull all-nighters on Friday night now to hunt Saturday morning, then I was catching up on Sundays. So it wasn't like I was just being fucking lazy. I had been up for like 48 hours.
He was being super lazy. Anyway, I did get my figures, though. 2 of them, anyway, not the hater. I'm still waiting on the hater figure. I figured out the reason why I think the hater figure, even though I ordered it first before these 2 figures and hasn't came yet, is because I ordered that through Shop AEW and not Ringside Collectibles. So I think that has something to do with it. Still really not sure if it was an actual pre-order. It never said pre-order, so I don't know what the hell's taking so long. But it's whatever. But anyway, these are the 2 figures that came in. Also, welcome everybody that's joining us on YouTube. Obviously, this is Hook. Hook's first figure. He's got the green shorts with the orange lettering. This is from the Unmatched collection. And then also from the Unmatched collection is the really heavy LJN figure. This is the Punk figure. The LJN. This is my 4th LJN figure so far. I've got both Cody's, Darby, and now Punk. And I'm still waiting on the... Like I said, I'm still waiting on the special hater figure. That was limited to 1,000. Oh, shit.
I remember you mentioned the resale on that one was already pretty high, but even by the time you had already bought it.
Yeah, speaking of pretty high and stuff being sold on eBay, I placed a bid on one of Bailey's pieces of ring worn gear.
Fucking pervert. Why?
Because she was selling a bunch of her gear for Maui animals or some shit. Did not win. Wasn't even close to winning.
No shit. Those people are gonna pay thousands of fucking dollars to jack off.
Thousands, hell. Listen to this, man. Okay, so she had like a bunch of different ones. The Ding Dong Hello set, I think, sold for like $25K. The Ding Dong Hello black top and black pants. I just bid it on a jacket, so I'm not a pervert. I just bid it on a fucking jacket. But when I bid on the jacket, it was like $1,055 was my bid. So then I get a thing like. Anyway, so I bid on it. Then 6 days later, when the thing ended, I got an email from eBay talking about some. Yeah, you lost out on this. You know what it sold for? Fucking over $3K for a jacket. It's not even an actual jacket. It's the vest cutoff one. It's not even a full fucking jacket. I was trying to help out the animals in Maui, bro.
Yeah, you could do that with a direct donation of $50.
I helped. I raised it up. What are you talking about?
All right. Yeah, all the any women's wrestlers ring worn shit is always going to be super overpriced, and you'll know exactly why, because they're fucking weird. Some of the men's shit too, just not in the exact same market. The funny thing is, if you
weird
put socks
ring
up
gear,
there, they'd probably sell.
I'm rocking them today, dude.
What's that?
I'm rocking them. It's the LeBrons. We're rocking them today.
Your video's delayed for me, so I don't see them yet, but cool.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. Do you think that matches your bandana there?
No, it doesn't match any of the pink that I have on, actually. I don't care.
Shit. It's ugly as hell.
I've got like 4 different pinks on.
They wouldn't be that bad if not for the that brown shit. Like
I'm only wearing the bandana and the shirt because of Ziggler getting released.
Yeah, if it wasn't like that weird brown fur looking shit, they did something else with that, they wouldn't be that bad, because they kind of remind me of like the pink velvet lows that were out a while ago. If not for that bit.
I almost got there's some AEW metal cards floating around at different Targets, and I went to a Target and they had a box left, but I forgot my fucking wallet. So I was not happy about that, because I actually had a lot of stuff in there that I wanted trading card wise, but they only had like 1 box of the AEW metal cards, which I didn't even know existed. And I was gonna go back the next day, but that's when the COVID went full blown and I couldn't fucking move, so I didn't end up going back the next day, unfortunately. And they're probably gone now, obviously, because there's only 1 box left. Because everybody's obviously going up in arms, ape shit over the Lorcana cards, which is the new Disney trading card game by Ravensburger. So, that was like the only thing Target didn't have. But they had everything else. They had like One Piece cards, Dragon Ball Z cards, Digimon cards, Pokemon cards out the ass. But not Lorcana cards.
So like a Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering type shit?
Oh, it's definitely like a Magic the Gathering type shit. Our buddy, friend of the show, Belly, opened up some cards. He got the... he only got 1... can't find the fucking, like, the booster pack shit anywhere. But he got the set. Like, the deck. The pre-structured deck, and then it has the 1 booster pack inside of it. So he opened that. That was pretty cool. The, I think the 2 cards that he got inside of it that were the rare cards or whatever actually paid for the fucking deck, the structure deck that he bought. I've got all 3 structured decks, but I'm keeping them sealed just in case it takes off. I've got all 3. There's 3 different ones, and they all have different cards and different styles of playing for each of the 3 decks. I've got them in a bag over there, but I also got the 2 new Squishmallows for Pokemon too. They finally hit the store. So I got 1 Snorlax and 1 Togepi, and then I was like, I was debating on whether or not get them or not, but the Pikachu and the Gengar that I have skyrocketed on eBay. Squishmallow Pokemon are insane. So I was like, you know what? I was like, there's a good chance these are not going to be here tomorrow, even though they had a shit ton of them come in. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it anyway, just in case. I'll just get 1 of each. That way I can at least say I grabbed 1. They were all gone the next day. All of them. It was insane.
I have 1 Squishmallow. It's that squid that's usually, well, before we change the camera layout, you can see it back behind me a little bit, but He's pretty cool. But yeah, they feel alright. I got my girlfriend a avocado one a while back. But I don't think I've seen any of the branded ones. Like Pokemon crossover shit.
15 a piece, $14.97 a piece for this 10-inch Pokemon ones. And then I looked on for the Pikachu one that I bought. It's selling for 60, so 4 times what I paid for it already. And I don't know what the Gengar's going for, but I'm pretty sure Gengar's probably going for even more because I think Gengar was the one that was less produced out of the 2 when they came out. But anyway, so I've got the figures coming. I'm still waiting on the CM Punk Supreme Edition or whatever the hell they're called. He's got the tag up at the store, but the Omegas are still sitting in the spot and the CM Punks have not come in yet. And that mod is going to be done soon at our store. So I don't know if we're actually going to get the Punks in ever. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with that. They also have my retro figures where I've got the Papa Shango and the Ultimate Warriors figures, like the retro, like old school He-Man looking style. Hold on, I'll grab my Ultimate Warrior right quick. The Papa Shango one's on my wall already. This one needs to go up beside him, but this is like the old school He-Man looking figure. He's got the One Warrior Nation that looks like the thing on right here. But anyway, they got a new set came out that has Macho Man in it, and I really want to get the fucking Macho Man. And then I saw online somebody already posted the next set after that, and it's got fucking Mr. Perfect with the Intercontinental title and a Bam Bam Bigelow figure. So,
kind of look like the what was that video game they were super cartoony in? Was that also called Superstars or All Stars? What was the video game where they were?
Oh yeah, WWE All Stars, like they're the cartoony looking big muscle dudes. Yeah. Fuck, dude. Excuse me. But yeah. But if you look at the Masters of the Universe WWE crossover, so the Masters of the WWE Universe figures that I have every single one of them. They're same type of case, same type of packaging, and all that kind of shit. Same type of style. But anyway, all that aside, huge news coming out of the week in wrestling for varying degrees. Obviously, we have first. Let's talk about the All Out review though, because we didn't get to talk about All Out. We talked about All In, obviously, and we talked about Punk getting fired was our last show. All Out then happened. I don't even know if I updated the fucking predictions, but just know that I destroyed again. Now I am so far ahead now. It's crazy. Let me see. I have them up here on the damn thing. Oh my god! Come on, phone. Fucking cooperate. Thank you. All right, let me go to the predictions. Scroll down. All right, so All Out. Ryan went 8-4, and I went 9-3.
Destroyed.
Well, yeah, when you take into account the other pay-per-view the week before, yes, I did destroy.
You only went up 2 on that one. What do you mean?
8-3 into 6-5. So what are you talking about? I've gained 3, and I was already up.
Yeah, I just said you only went up 2 on the one before that, which you just reiterated.
Anyway, the overall records are now 90-24 for me. I don't know if I have. Is that updated? Let me look. Oh, it is. Okay, there they are. 90-24 for me, and 84-30 for Ryan. Now, I will say that either way, if you listen to either one of us and just went with all of our picks for throughout the year, you'd be making money right now. Just so y'all know.
It depends on the odds for each one. If we picked all the ones that were only
$5 for each match, you'd still be making money. It wouldn't matter.
Not necessarily. Not if all the ones that we won were the odds were fucking like.
Yes, you would.
You know, you get 10 cents back on a $1 bet, and then the ones that we lost were all bullshit.
Nah, the discrepancy of 90-24 is too big for you not to make money.
It's not true.
This isn't like an NFL betting here.
It would depend on the odds.
You'd be making money. Let's see, the ones that we got wrong. Ryan got Starks wrong against Danielson. That's the one that I beat him on. We both got Kingston and Shibata wrong. And we both got Cassidy wrong. Oh, we both got Omega wrong again. When he lost to Takeshita. So.
Yeah.
What did you think of the All Out pay-per-view?
All Out was good. It was a card that seemed weaker on paper, obviously. I think everybody kind of agreed to that before the show actually happened. There was some stuff on there that didn't really seem like it was going to be like, why is this on here or whatever. But even stuff like the Samoa Joe Shane Taylor thing, where you obviously knew Shane Taylor wasn't going to win, and it was only like a 5-10 minute. It wasn't even 10 minutes. It was like a 5-minute match. It still worked to break up some of the stuff on the card too. So, I mean, the wrestling was all good. The having Moxley win was, in retrospect, now that he's gotten injured, it's actually hard to say because you don't know how his run would have been. But I still think I should have had Cassidy win that and then have him lose to someone else.
100% agree. Agree. I don't understand why he needed the title. Whether he got hurt or not against Phoenix to drop it, whether he was supposed to drop it against Phoenix or not, you could have had Phoenix win. Let's say Phoenix was supposed to win that match, right? Phoenix could have beat Orange Cassidy. There's nothing wrong with Phoenix beating Orange Cassidy. If you're selling, the whole thing that you're selling is Orange Cassidy is getting beat down, and that was supposed to be his moment at All Out, where his crowning achievement, where everybody was supposed to, okay, we're taking Cassidy seriously. Not only did he do all this shit, but he also was in the main event when there was no world title match, and he beat Moxley, and then you could have him lose the title right after.
It felt like it would have
completely agree with you on that.
It would have legitimized his run more, and it would have been a nice way to wrap up telling the story of he's just so fucking beat up. Because even if you overcome Moxley's going to beat you up so bad that your next match you're obviously going to lose. That totally.
And he told that story anyway after he lost to Moxley because he kept going to Renee and being like, I'm still tired. I'm tired. Yeah. So he was already telling the story anyway. So yeah, I don't understand that anyway. And then if somebody comes back and says, well, what are you going to do? Have him lose it on a Dynamite? Yes. He's been defending on every fucking Dynamite. That was literally the entire fucking thing, was he was just saying, okay, yeah, whatever. If somebody comes up to him and before they even get the fucking challenge out, yeah, I'll fight you. That's the entire thing. So yes, losing it on Dynamite would have probably made more sense to me than a built-up match like he had with Cassidy.
It's 3 days later, and you're telling the story that he's fucked up. Yeah, that would have made way more sense. I don't know why they did that.
Right,
I don't hate it. Like, it still worked, but I thought that would have been, there was a better way to go with that.
Hindsight aside, we can both agree that, well, I don't know if you're going to agree actually or not, but I'm saying it right now. Danielson versus Starks was easily the best match for me. That match was insane. That strap match was fucking crazy.
There was some points in that match where I was like, how is
he
Starks
hit that motherfucker in the face
so many times,
multiple times?
Yeah, I was like, how is he not getting pissed at him? Oh my god. So what took me out of that match a little bit was I could tell the shit that they were doing to work around Danielson's arm the whole time. So that took me out a little bit, but I still thought it was like a really good match. As far as like best match on the card, I thought the Takeshita match was probably.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you're gonna go Takeshita. They had good moments in the match. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but I would even put Miro versus fucking Powerhouse Hobbs over that one.
The crowd
the
got
meat
that
match,
over.
baby. The meat match was better than that one to me.
The crowd got that over more than the
match okay. So what's wrong with that?
It's just not the same. So I think I would also say that the Moxley Cassidy match was probably, the Danielson match to me was good in the sense that it was like, what the fuck, like, this is super intense, like, you have that train wreck feeling watching it, but as far as like whether or not it was a better match, I don't think I would say it was a better match. I did walk away from that match thinking differently about Starks, though, for sure. But if I had to pick like what was the better wrestling match on the card, I think I would probably put Moxley and Cassidy ahead of it. I think I would probably put Takeshita Omega ahead of it. But that's not like it's not like we're talking about the difference between like a fucking A and a D here. It's like, A to A minus.
If I had to rank them, I'd put Starks and Danielson number 1. I might have to watch Cassidy and Moxley again. So that's probably number 2. And then like tied for 3rd is the meat match and Kesha Omega.
Yeah.
So I mean, the coolest match in the Omega match to me was obviously the Blue Thunder Bomb from the fucking top rope was insane.
Yeah. I feel like that story might be getting dragged out a little bit too far at this point, but hopefully the Jericho Omega wrapping it up at the same time thing will be the end of it. We'll see.
All right, so what was did you like All Out better than All In?
Shit. That's hard because the crowd makes such a big difference. And the crowd size at All In was such a weird thing to add to each match that I think it adds stuff to it that it didn't necessarily have on its own. I didn't like Saraya winning. I thought that was just not a fan of that. The MJF stuff was interesting. That was all good. The FTR Young Bucks match was really good. Stadium Stampede was good. I don't know, man. They're actually really close. I don't know. I think I'd have to go back and watch both of them. But they were close enough to where I would say I wouldn't comfortably put one over the other.
All right, let's talk about the next pay-per-view coming up. Here we go. Starting off strong, WrestleDream in a week, dude. All right, so when I made this, I said starting off strong. Now we're way past that. They've got pretty much the entire fucking pay-per-views lined up now. So let's talk about it. We've got Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr., which obviously was the first match announced. You got Swerve and Hangman are going to go against each other. Eddie Kingston versus Shibata now for both of Eddie's titles, which is insane. FTR versus Aussie Open. Julia Hart is challenging Chris Statlander for the TBS title. There's some other matches too, obviously, that I'm getting off the top of my head here. But what are we thinking about WrestleDream? The Righteous versus Better Than You, Baby, which I don't agree with. I thought it should have been. I thought it should have been Kingdom.
Are you a Righteous hater?
No, I don't have a problem with the Righteous. I just don't. I'm not buying them as a legitimate threat to Better Than You, Baby, when you had fucking Kingdom sitting right there involved in this storyline the entire time. It makes no sense not to have the Kingdom in this fucking match right here. None.
It does if they're trying to drag it out further, I guess.
You can drag it out further and still have the Kingdom in the match, though.
They might
you can have the Kingdom lose this match and still drag it out and eventually beat them with Roddy's help. Roddy doesn't have to technically show up at this WrestleDream.
They might be waiting for O'Reilly to come back because the thing is the Roddy interference is going to be too predictable. Like everybody's going to see that coming. So you do the Roddy interference and then you do an O'Reilly interference, and then that is the bigger story coming out of that than the predictable like Roddy helped them win or whatever the fuck.
Even O'Reilly coming back, you could play that either way too, because he could come out and help Adam Cole instead, and then the splittering doesn't happen between Roderick, Adam Cole, and MJF. It happens between Kyle O'Reilly, MJF, and Adam Cole, because MJF forgot all about Kyle O'Reilly, who is easily his best friend. So,
and now he realizes he has another friend. Oh no. Poor Jealous Max.
But anyway, so like hype levels. We talk about hype levels every time when we get close to a pay-per-view like this. With most of the matches announced now, what are your hype levels going into this 1 to 10 for WrestleDream?
I'm really excited about the Kingston Shibata match. I think that'll be good. I guess they're only doing that for the World Championship and not for the Pure one, though.
Yeah, they're doing it for both of Eddie's titles, not the Pure. So Kingston's gonna win.
Right. So that was my when they do it where there's only one person's titles on the line, you pretty much know what's gonna happen.
I mean, I did like Kevin Kelly announcing on Collision. He's like, well, if Shibata wins, he can be a Triple Crown champion at the same time or whatever. So I mean, I like that he acknowledged it, but it still doesn't change the fact that Kingston's winning this match, though.
Yeah. And then maybe they do a rematch under pure rules and Shibata wins and it proves that he's the better pure wrestler or whatever the fuck. They could do stuff out of this that would make sense and not make Shibata look bad. I don't get me wrong, I love Kingston. I don't currently buy him beating Shibata. Shibata's been booked like a fucking monster since he's gotten back. I don't think he's lost one yet. So having Kingston do it doesn't. I don't know. It seems like a weird first choice.
There's a way to do this. I mean, you're not gonna, no one's gonna like it as far as a Ring of Honor standpoint goes. But there's two people on this card. There's two people on this card, or there's two people that are not on this card that are directly involved with this, and that's Wheeler Yuta and Claudio. And they could easily come out, go after Kingston or Shibata, depending on which one of the two come out. Miss whoever the fuck they're supposed to hit Shibata instead, and then Kingston wins, not knowing. Some shit like that. So Kingston gets out of there. He's protected. Shibata's protected, and then Shibata can move on to either go against Claudio or against Wheeler Yuta for the pure title.
Or they could just help Shibata win, help Kingston win rather by fucking with Shibata, so that Kingston keeps the titles because Claudio wants to beat Kingston for them. Like that's always a story they could do too. That one's a little bit trickier to pull off though. Because I feel like if you had to have somebody help you to win, it makes Shibata look great, but it doesn't make Kingston look good. So it just depends on how they do it.
My hype levels for this are probably a 7. I don't want to sound like a WWE. I mean, no. You know what? Nah, because I say the same thing for WWE. So the same reason I get mad or got mad when Roman was holding all the world titles and then not defending them at the pay-per-views.
Oh, MJF.
2 straight pay-per-views with no AEW world title on the line. That annoys me.
Well, the first one was understandable. It was a week later.
Yeah, but it's not understandable this time. That's my point.
Yeah. Have they said why he's not?
No, just, I mean, storyline wise, I assume that it's because of his neck, but he's still having the tag team match. So I'm not following why you wouldn't just not have the tag team match and have a world title match instead.
Yeah, because it's not like the right.
I feel like this would have been a perfect time to just, hey, and now I'm going to go against the runner-up in the tournament, Roderick Strong, for the world title right here at WrestleDream would have made a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, and having your world champion on your card to defend what are technically tag belts from another promotion seems fucking weird too. But
speaking of tag belts from another promotion, what do you think about the Elite winning the 6-man Ring of Honor titles?
I was fine with it. I mean, the Mogul Embassy's done what they're gonna do with them. Like, you can't. Who else is there that's gonna take them off of them?
There's a lot of rumors going around that they're doing this for a reason and putting all these titles on bigger names. Do you agree with that? Do you think they're trying to do something?
Like TV deal shit or what?
Yeah. TV deal, streaming deal, whatever.
I don't know, but I know ratings have been up lately, apparently. They were doing 1.1 million for some parts of one of the shows the other night, so that's kind of crazy. Maybe. I mean, I feel like Warner Brothers Discovery is already happy enough with them to where shit that they change on their television product probably isn't swaying anything one way or the other, but if they think that doing that will get them more ratings so they have a better leverage position for streaming negotiations, maybe. But I can't imagine most of those conversations haven't already happened. Like, I feel like all these things are already set in stone, and we're just waiting for the time to happen. Yeah. Like, we're just waiting for the time to run out on the current contracts, and these things are already actually fucking ready to go. He just can't announce any of this shit, obviously. That does seem way more likely to me too, man. I can't imagine a scenario where they haven't already discussed it to the point where whatever wiggle room is left is probably like negotiating whether or not it's going to be 10 pay-per-views a year or 12 or shit like that. Like, they got to be pretty close on everything else, and I don't think changing titles to different people is going to make a big deal. So I don't know. It might.
What are your thoughts on the pay-per-view, the new pay-per-view schedule potentially?
Oh, if they were to go to like a model where it was 10 a year or 12 a year or whatever.
Yeah.
They kind of already do with the special television shows or whatever, so they could book toward them the same way that they already do. So I'm not concerned about it from a booking point of view. I already pay for the AEW Pass thing on Fight through just watch it through a VPN. It's like $7 a month or some shit. So if it was similar to that, like I don't have a problem paying that and getting every pay-per-view included with that too. I don't think that would be the model though. I think they would probably do it like the AEW pass works now, where it's like if you have the pass, you still pay extra for the pay-per-view, but you pay less for the pay-per-view than you would if you don't have the pass to watch the television stuff. That would probably make more sense to me.
I wouldn't even hate this model right here, where like, yeah, you have 12, but you have 4 that you pay for through BR with the $50 a month, the main 4, and then all the other ones are on the HBO Max. I wouldn't have a problem with that either.
Or do it the other way around, where it's like, oh wait, are you saying pay extra for the big 4?
No, not like UFC and ESPN Plus. Fuck no. Like I already have HBO Max, right? It's like Peacock. Okay. But let's just say that Peacock doesn't carry WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble. Those you'd have to pay for through the WWE Network or whatever, BR Live, DirecTV, whatever the fuck they would be on, which is what. Because if a lot of people don't know this, but WBD or whatever the fuck they're called now, Warner Brothers Discovery, they own BR. They own BR Live.
I think the best way to do it would be if they did move to a, like, let's say 12-year model, you would still keep the big 4 separate financially to make them feel better or bigger, but I don't think you do that by like hosting them on a separate service or whatever. You just do it the same way that the Fight AEW Pass currently works, where you do pay extra for them, but you pay less if you're a member with the AEW stuff. And it could be, $10 for those, and then you get the other 8 included with the pass, or for the lower minor pay-per-views or whatever. But you would keep your big 4 at like a premium cost or an extra 10, or if you don't have the pass, you paid 40 or 50 or whatever the fuck. I think that makes sense. Because I don't think anybody would do that, right? Because by the time anybody that can do fucking math on that would be like, well, I'll just get the pass. It would never make any sense to buy an individual pay-per-view unless you were doing it for like a licensing reason, where you were playing it in like a sports bar or some shit and you had to buy it separately for whatever copyright laws, or I don't know how the fuck that works for sharing a subscription in a public place. But yeah, there's a lot of ways they could do the model. I think they would all work, so we'll see. I don't think it has anything to do with them currently changing titles around though.
I feel like this will leave Battle of the Belts in the dust too, though. Battle of the Belts, I feel like, is now non-existent because of Collision being there. Rampage, when you have your special Rampage things now, like you just had this past week, it was just an extra hour of Rampage with Grand Slam or whatever, shit like that. Winter is coming, like those special ones that people are thinking they're just going to get turned into the pay-per-views or whatever, like Fighter Fest or Fight for the Fallen. You've already got the names, you've already got the rights for those things, the IPs for those names, so you might as well just go ahead and use those as your new pay-per-views or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think Battle of the Belts would probably be one. They might just still keep that as like a TV special. You could do that.
I just don't say where you would fit it in at, because of Collision now being there is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I get what they were doing with it because it was like their Clash of Champions, but I just nothing ever happened on it, and you've already got all these other IPs, and then you got the new show with Collision, so it kind of just falls by the wayside at this point. Now, they're going to do a super fucking show pay-per-view where it's called Battle of the Belts, and literally every single one of your belts is on there, like Night of Champions is supposed to be. That would be cool. I'd be down for that.
Or do it where you you have all your AEW champions go against your Ring of Honor champions.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that too. That's pretty cool. That's a cool idea.
Yeah,
especially since they have most of them are the same type of stuff. Like you got like your 6-man versus your trios type champion. Yeah. You got your world versus world. You got your TV versus your international or TNT, whatever the fuck you want to do, and you can do the international versus the peer champion instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, and you don't have to do it where anybody wins the belts. It's literally just set up as like an exhibition between the companies, and then you could have the upset wins from the Ring of Honor guys and put some of them over that way and bring more attention to that product. I think that would make sense. Or you could do it for the belts. Depends on what the feud is.
I would, yeah, the issue though is with that is it's kind of like the Eddie Kingston Shibata situation you have now. If you're not going to take both of the titles off or put them both on the line, you kind of already phoning in who's going to win.
Not really. You just put neither of them on the line.
No, I understand what you said, but I'm saying what you said, or you could put them on the line. But like,
Well, it would just depend on what the storyline is, and I think that would still same complaint. It would really only work if both sides did it, or did it as like a unification. I don't think you need 2 sets of trios titles. I think you could do a unification on that and have them defended on both. Because when you look at even in New Japan, their trios titles are not like IWGP trios titles. It's the Never titles. So you could do like it's just it's not specific to either company branding.
It'd be cool is if, like what you're saying right now, you just have other champions too. It's called Battle of the Belts. No one said it had to be Battle of Belts under the AEW umbrella. You could bring in Vikingo to fucking defend his Triple I Mega title. You could have, like you were saying, New Japan dudes come in and defend their title. I think that would be cool too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this PWI. All right. This was one of the big things that happened over the past week, because a lot of people weren't talking enough about everything. And then PWI says, you know what? This is a perfect time to throw out our list. So y'all can keep everything going and burn the internet down while everybody's talking about all the kinds of crazy shit that was happening in wrestling this week. Let's talk about it though. We're just going to talk about the top 10 because obviously that's what everybody pretty much focuses on. There is the official PWI 500 top 10 from 10 to 1. Now, there's a lot of talk about... Now, last year we completely obliterated their list because Moxley wasn't number 1. Remember that? I believe you remember that.
I do.
Still don't like their time frame. I hate it. They're like July to June or June to July or whatever the fuck that weird shit is that they do. Instead of just fucking pausing it until January and then just starting the list anew. I don't understand.
I think that
it would not be hard.
I think the reason for that is if you think about the big events that happen right around the time that their window closes, it's the reason I think they got used to doing that is because it's right when SummerSlam is pretty much wrapping up. So you get in the habit of like, okay, we can't do it at the beginning of January because Royal Rumble's not even done at the beginning of January and that kind of shit. I think that's why they ended up doing it like that. It was like, okay, here's like a natural conclusion for a lot of the WWE stuff that we look at when they first started doing it.
I don't buy that at all. I'd say you do it from January 1st to December 1st if that was the case, and then you don't have to worry about that. Nothing's going to happen in December. That's going to fucking...
That's what they're...
But that's my point. That's why can't you just wait till January 1st and then be like, okay, now the clock starts here. Here we go. You got all the main pay-per-views are in that time frame, so it doesn't make any sense for it not to be that way. But let's just talk about their top 10 here. A lot of people went ape shit over Cody being at 10 and thought he should be way higher, which I don't know what everybody else is watching. But the man
higher than who? Orange Cassidy? No. Higher than Okada? No. Higher than MJF? Fuck no. Who?
I don't know.
Maybe higher than Josh Alexander, but I don't watch Impact, so I couldn't tell you.
So it's Cody Rhodes at 10, Josh Alexander at 9, Orange Cassidy at 8, Okada at 7, MJF at 6, Vikingo at 5, Gunther at 4, Jon Moxley at 3, Roman Reigns at 2, and Seth Rollins at 1. Wink, wink. Shield in the top 3 spots, which I feel like was done on purpose, obviously. Because it was a cool magazine cover. Do what?
The guy that does some of the rankings literally came. It was around the same time that they were apologizing for leaving out Naito. He pretty much admitted, like,
yeah, out of the top 500, no Naito.
He said
no Naito.
Said it was a clerical error.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Daredevil. You just didn't fucking... You can't see is what it is. Like, what the fuck? You have to be blind to not have Naito in the top 500. Naito could have one match for that entire time frame and he'd be in the top 500. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, what they probably did was they had him in the pool of all the available wrestlers. They put him in a slot. They took him out of the available pool, and then they were like, let's move him somewhere else. So they deleted him from there. Didn't put him back in the pool. Didn't finish fucking organizing the rest of them. And we're like, okay, yeah, we're done. And then didn't realize he was out. That makes the most sense to me.
All right, let's talk about this top 10, though. All right, do you agree with Rollins being number 1?
No. Fuck no.
Okay. All right, so let's say, what would your top 10 look like? You don't have to go through all 10, but like, what are we moving? What's egregious here, and where would you have them?
I don't watch Impact, so I can't say whether or not Josh Alexander being there is egregious or not. I don't think.
But wasn't he
Kofi's-
hurt a lot of this time frame? Wasn't Josh Alexander out forever?
When I remember looking at somebody posted like a picture of the actual magazine itself. I think they even mentioned that in there, that he was injured for a pretty long period in it. But apparently he's been pretty dominant over there. I don't know. I don't watch it, so I can't comment too much on that one. Gunther being in there makes sense. He's been super fucking dominant as the Intercontinental Champion. Vikingo, he's been doing some stuff. So I think with the losses that he takes in AEW, though, it does hurt him a little bit since this is supposed to be like a kayfabe rating. I don't know that I would have him so high. I understand why he's that high, but I don't think I would have him that high. Okada, I mean, Okada, okay, Okada makes sense. I understand. Okay, I can kind of see it. MJF, so the period started in June.
I can't remember for sure because I always forget because it's fucking nonsensical. So
Yeah.
but anyway, what I would have, I'd have
I mean,
MJF a
these
lot
I'm
higher.
mostly okay with these. I would put Osprey
I'm
somewhere.
okay
in
with
there. I think it's
the.
crazy
I'm
that he's not
okay.
in there.
No. I'm okay with the names in the top 10. I'm not okay with the order of the top 10.
You wouldn't put Osprey in there somewhere?
Yes, I
Okay,
take
well then-
Alexander out. There's no way Osprey's not higher than Alexander, dude. Alexander out of the top 10.
I just
Osprey
don't wanna
in the
say that
top
'cause I don't
10.
watch it, so it seems
Vikingo
not-
probably down to around where they have Cassidy Alexander now. I've got Cassidy probably fucking minimum 5, maximum 3 on the list. Like there's no way that Cassidy should not be higher than fucking 8 in my opinion. Now these are not like super egregious where I'm like, oh, pitchfork, we need to burn all the PWIs or anything. It's not like last year where fucking Moxley wasn't number 1. That was fucking so stupid. I believe Moxley wasn't even in the top 10 or some shit last year, right? That's why everybody was fucking pissed.
Yeah, they
It
had
was
him
so
real low
stupid.
last year. It was dumb.
Let's see. MJF should be higher, I think. Rollins definitely should not be number 1.
I don't know where the fuck they got that from. He
I
won
wouldn't
the new
even hate.
belt, but
I
he
wouldn't even
hasn't done
hate
anything.
Roman being number 1. Honestly, I would not hate it if they had Roman 1. I would probably put MJF 2 or 3, Moxley 2 or 3, whichever one isn't the other one, and then Rollins in like 4, maybe 5. I put Cassidy 4, Rollins 5. That's probably what I would do.
I don't know what their argument is for him being 1. I mean, he did win the new belt, but it's not like he did anything.
He's beaten Finn Balor since he got the title. That's it.
Yeah,
and
he's not
Nakamura.
done anything crazy with it. He's not had any like super notable.
He beat Nakamura and Finn Balor since he's had the champion.
Yeah, and then you look at that versus what Moxley's been up to, or what fucking MJF has been up to, or definitely Cassidy.
Or Roman,
It
just in his own company.
The Roman stuff is weird because I know that it's kayfabe ratings, so it's hard. But he doesn't defend it enough for me to like. If I were gonna make a list, even considering kayfabe, I understand why Roman is there because they're like, oh, he's the most powerful or whatever the fuck. But he's kind of not.
But if
Because the way
I'm
that
putting
his-
Roman up there, I have to put. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. If I'm putting MJF in the top 10, I have to put Roman in the top 10. The exact same reason. MJF didn't defend it either. The time frame that they're using isn't these last few months when he started to have to fucking defend 2 titles in one night and shit. He just started wrestling. He was still doing the whole thing where you have to beat so and so to beat me or to go against me or whatever. So, if MJF's going to be in the top 10, Roman's got to be in the top 10 for the same reason.
So the evaluation period was July 1st to July 1st. So
Okay.
here's the weird thing here to me. This is what they list as their criteria, right?
Now this is when MJF was talking about best Iron Man match, best oh my god, best
Strap match, dog collar match.
well, I think that was before that though. Because that was way before Punk got suspended. So that would be the year before. But the Iron Man match was definitely Danielson. It had to be that. Then Forbidden Door, he had what, Tanahashi, right?
Yeah.
They were doing July to July.
Yeah, and it was June 20 something.
Oh, was it?
26th. Yeah, I mean it fell in the period.
Yeah, it would be the end of the period, yeah. exactly.
Yeah, just by a few days. So here's the criteria that they say they consider, right? Win, loss, championships won, quality of competitions, major feuds, prominence within a wrestler's promotion, and overall wrestling ability. So what major feuds?
Okay, so I have zero issue with anybody's wrestling ability that are in the top 10. Those names make sense, right? So we can take that out, right? Those are fine.
Sure.
All those guys in the top
Maybe not
10,
Cody.
great wrestlers. Now, what was the other ones you said? What was the other criteria?
Win-loss record.
Which would to take out Vikino down a few spots because of his AEW records. Okay,
AEW.
Continue.
Yeah.
Continue. What was the other thing?
Okada's lost a few pretty big ones too.
Yeah, this wasn't a huge Okada year by any stretch.
And Rhodes lost to hold on.
Lesnar.
Yeah,
He lost once to Lesnar, beat Lesnar twice.
It's hard to remember what happened in what months is the
Cody.
issue.
Well, you're doing July to July.
Yeah, he did the.
But the last Lesnar match was at SummerSlam, so that was not July, right?
He did the Dominic stuff at Money in the Bank. That was on July 1st, though, so I don't even know if that got counted in that. Who the fuck knows? Okay, whatever.
But Cody did win the Royal Rumble, though, but lost at WrestleMania. That's all in there, too.
Well, this is what I'm trying to figure out. The Brock Lesnar stuff, I know it felt like that went on forever.
Wait. So if it was July to July,
Yeah.
and he won the Royal Rumble in that time frame and lost the reigns, not only did you lose the reigns, and you came in at 30 to win the Royal Rumble, but before that, you weren't there for fucking 5 months. So Cody shouldn't be in the top 10 either, for the same reason that Josh Alexander shouldn't be up there.
Yeah. So
I'm taking Josh Alexander and Cody Rhodes out of the top 10. I don't know what the uproar is about Cody Rhodes not being higher. That's ridiculous. He came in at 30, dude. He came in at 30 and won. Y'all act like he came in at number 1. And he lost to Roman.
But he eliminated Gunther. Yeah, so with the June to June, it's crazy thinking about it because all this shit with Cody feels like it was so long ago, but it really hasn't been that long. Because the match with Roman was just in April of this year. That was only like 4 or 5 months ago. It feels like it's been way fucking longer than that. So
yeah, I'm moving Vikino down a couple spots. I'm moving MJF up a couple spots. I'm moving Orange Cassidy way up on this top 10 list. I'm moving Rollins down on the top 10 list. Okada probably around the same, maybe down a spot. Cody and Alexander just off the list completely for 9 and 10.
yeah, I don't know where the fuck they're getting.
I don't understand how you have 500 people on this list, 501 when you omitted a Naito, and you're telling me that Cody and Josh Alexander, for the time frame that you gave, who were mostly injured for that time frame, didn't have 2 dudes that were better than them to knock them out of the top 10. What?
Yeah.
Sting hasn't lost since he's been in AEW. Why is Sting not in there?
No championships won.
What championship has Cody won?
None. That's why I don't think it has to be there either.
Sting should be number 10. That's more egregious to me.
I would put Ospreay in there before I put Sting.
No, Ospreay's going in there too. I'm taking Ospreay and Sting and putting them in the top 10. I'm taking Alexander and Cody out.
Fucking Sting. Yeah, they got Ospreay at 17, which is crazy to me. Because that means they've got Ospreay.
You know they didn't put Punk in there because he was suspended most of that time, right? So why is it okay to not put Punk in there, but putting Cody in top 10 for missing most of the fucking shit? And then when you came back, all you did was win at number 30 and then lost your chance at WrestleMania. That was your claim to fame for the year and you're in the top 10? Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe? Come on, man. Samoa Joe, fucking king of television?
They've got Lashley in there. What the fuck did Lashley do in 2023?
He went around stalking other black wrestlers to try to make a stable.
No, that's relatively recent, right?
No, he's been doing that for a while. He finally just got somebody to actually start doing it. By the way, the Street Profits doing the exact same shit that they did before, so I don't understand what the big change up was.
They got to change their music too. That's not heel music. Lions with the Street Profits. That's too recent. So he lost the U.S. Championship to Rollins on October 10th. He lost to Lesnar at Crown Jewel. He answered the open challenge for Rollins. And then Theory cashed in the Money in the Bank, which Lashley interfered in, which Rollins retained because of. Lashley lost again in a triple threat match to Rollins. He got another title shot against Theory, but lost because it was no DQ and Lesnar came back.
I know one of the things that you said for the list for the criteria was in-ring ability. And that aside, doesn't the other three criterias all line up and they have women on this list now? Why is Jade Cargill not in the top 10 then?
Yeah. Okay, so just Lashley makes no sense. I don't know what the fuck. He hasn't won a single match.
What number do they put Lashley at?
19.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But below him, they've got
I'm eating my chair.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who both won titles because they won the tag titles, obviously, and had pretty major feuds and quality of competition. If you're gonna say Reigns is like a big fucking deal and he's number 2, then that should count, right? You got Omega in 25, Zack Sabre Jr. in 36. I don't know, man. Some of this shit don't make any sense.
I'm eating my chair. So we got him in the chair. Now we got him in the chair with me. Look, you're on TV, buddy. You're on the YouTubes. You're on the YouTubes.
Yeah, I don't. Lashley's done nothing but fucking lose.
Who's at number 20?
Trey Miguel.
Dude, there's no way there's... Okay. There's no way there's that big of a drop-off from your top 10 that you have to have Trey Miguel at number 20 and Lashley at number 19, dude.
Well,
it's gotta be people.
I got Jericho at 24 and Omega at 25. Adam Page at 28. Now, granted, Hangman hasn't had like a crazy year or anything, but how the fuck do you have Matt Cardona at 31 with all the belts he's got right now?
Yeah. Cardona probably going to win the Monster Award fucking again for best indie wrestler.
Indie? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the indie wrestler.
If it wasn't for Cardona and Speedball Mike Bailey, I feel like the indies would be dead.
Yeah, and they've got Mike Bailey at 39.
Really, that low?
I guess.
They got him that low, but got Trey Miguel at fucking 20.
Yeah. Huh. Sonata's 11.
Yeah, I hate Sonata, but Sonata should be in the top 10 over Cody and Alexander.
Yeah, I don't. Again, I'm not going to speak on Alexander because I don't watch Impact, but I don't see how the fuck you have Sonata under.
But when
Cody
when part of the article in the fucking magazine is telling you how much he was injured, that should automatically disqualify him from top 10.
Yeah. Yeah, and to the more common top 3 conversation, if you look at the period that they're looking at, I'm not sure what Rollins did aside from win the new belt that they invented just because nobody could beat Roman Reigns that would put him over Moxley or Reigns.
Why are you creating a title, giving it to somebody that can't win the other title, and then putting him over the guy that had the title that you couldn't take off? Roman should be over fucking Rollins by default.
Yeah. And when you're considering quality of competition and like major feuds in it, and half your shit with like Finn Balor and Dominic, and then the rest of it was like Austin Theory, like who gives a fuck? Why? How does that put you in there? I don't get it. I don't get it. Let alone that one of the things that they say they consider is prominence within a wrestler's promotion. There ain't nobody more fucking prominent in AEW than John Moxley for that time period. Like, this was another year of him carrying the fucking company for every time.
Omega being that low is kind of concerning. Well, Omega, Page, because when they are in there, they're winning. When they are in there, they're having the better matches on the shows or pay-per-views or whatever, what have you.
In general, they are involved in major feuds. They're not like just wrestling people usually.
Yes, but that's my thing, is like a lot of these other guys aren't.
Yeah. And quality of competition is a weird one too, because
Vikingo, what is Vikingo's big story? What's his big feud?
He could have something going on in AAA I don't know about, but I doubt the PWI people know about it either. So
what is Gunther's biggest feud with Drew? Sheamus at WrestleMania? That was it?
Here's the thing with Gunther being the champion and the story around him being that he's such a dominant champion. Him versus the idea of losing at all is the feud. Like, that's the story. So it doesn't have to be necessarily against a single person. I don't feel like. I think it's a little bit different from a storytelling perspective. But Josh Alexander, when one of the major criteria is quality of competition, the man's in fucking Impact. What's the quality of competition and Impact right
now? If I'm using that storyline for Gunther, though, then you're using the same storyline for Orange Cassidy, and I'm telling you right now, Orange Cassidy's quality of competition is better than Gunther's.
Probably,
for the entire time frame, I mean.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, Gunther has spikes when he goes against Sheamus or Pete Dunne or Drew McIntyre, but then in between that, he doesn't. He's fighting who? Otis. Like, come on, let's be real. Let's be real here.
We're not gonna be an Otis hater, okay?
Come on, man. And then the Chad Gable stuff doesn't even count because that was after. That was just happened. So that doesn't even happen in this time frame.
And he's about to lose to him. So, you know, again, he's already got the honky tonk record. He can lose it now.
Well, I feel like he's probably going to lose it to Drew now that Drew isn't saddled with Riddle anymore.
Yeah, maybe. That could have changed things up. Because I mean, when Drew's
they got one New Japan
up,
dude in here, and it's Okada, and you're okay with that? Like, you're okay with that over Ospreay or anybody else? That's it. Sonata, who's the champ, who's been champion since Wrestle Kingdom.
I would have moved Okada up, obviously.
You'd have moved him up?
Up, like higher on the list, not higher in number. Come on.
So lower on the list.
Higher because it's to the top. One is the top.
No, you think he's ranked too low?
Yes, Okada?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so if you had you got a top 10 and you got one New Japan slot, you're putting Okada in there over Ospreay? Because there's only one dude from New Japan in the top 10, and it's Okada.
Yeah, I would move him higher. Yeah.
That's interesting to me. I think I would have Ospreay ranked higher than Okada.
You could make that argument for a few reasons. One, because he lost to him in the fucking in the G1. It was one of the only I think it was the only match that Okada lost in the tournament, right? Except for the final, obviously, because he lost to Naito in the final. Which again is crazy that they just forgot Naito when he won fucking G1. Weird. You know what else is weird? They've got Okada in the top 10, but he lost to Danielson. And Danielson's way down there.
Yeah, Danielson being down there is surprising too, because his injury just happened at Forbidden Door against Okada, where he beat Okada.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, obviously Okada did win at Wrestle Kingdom. He beat Jay White for the title, and that was a pretty big feud. The whole Jay White.
I feel like, okay, so if it's July 1st and July 1st, and we're taking from July 1st this year, Forbidden Door happened after that. So Danielson beat Okada. Ospreay beat Jericho and Okada and Omega.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a good chance that Danielson and Ospreay are both going to be in the top 10 this next year when the shit is released. Yeah? As long as no huge injuries happen. Because Danielson's about to get another win against Zack Sabre Jr., I think, at WrestleDream. And he beat Ricky Starks twice. He beat him in a Texas Death match, and he beat him in the fucking strap match. And And I think the Iron Man match might fall under this too, but I'm not positive. I can't remember when the hell that was. I know it was a pay-per-view. It might have fell into this one that just happened. But there's a good chance that Danielson and Ospreay could be top 5 easy next year.
As long as Danielson doesn't hurt again for any extended period of time.
It'd be crazy if Danielson. It would be crazy if Danielson doesn't get hurt, racks up a shit ton of wins, becomes number 1 in the PWI 500, and then he retires.
Yeah. After winning the Bryan Danielson Best Technical Wrestler Award again. That's so funny to me that they thought he was retired, so they named a fucking award after him, and then he came back, started wrestling again, and has won the award more times than anybody, except for, he has won the award more times than anybody, but only 2 people have ever won it.
Him and Sabre Jr., who's fighting.
Him and Sabre Jr. Yeah.
They should literally, it should be a ladder match, and that should be hanging up the Bryan Danielson award. And if Zack Sabre Jr. wins, it'll be renamed to his. It's Russo style.
So with you don't think Okada should be in the top 10? Is that your...
I'm saying if I had one spot in the top 10 for a New Japan dude, I'd probably put in Ospreay there, not Okada. Hell, I might even put Naito or Sonata there too. I think they're in the conversation as well.
I think the reason for it though is that obviously Okada was the world champion multiple times in this time frame.
I don't think so. July to July, he was only, he might have been multiple times. I know he obviously lost at Wrestle Kingdom because Sonata's had it since January.
Yeah, he lost it. Yeah, he lost to Sonata, but he beat Jay White for it at the Inoki tribute, the first show after Inoki died or whatever, that Wrestle Kingdom.
Why is Jay White not higher?
That's a great fucking question.
I'll say this. It's not as egregious as last year when they left Moxley out of the top 10 and a lot of people thought he should have been number 1. Literally number 1, and he wasn't even in the top 10. I won't say it's that egregious, but I do feel like they failed the top 10 again here. This easily could be reordered and make a lot more sense than it does.
Oh no, you know what? He didn't have it multiple times because he lost it right before the period started to Jay White. That's right. Because it's July, and that was in June because it was at Dominion. Okay. So, but still, he was world champion, and Ospreay wasn't.
All right, let's talk about the releases. We got to talk about the releases real quick.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, I did a little special thing here with Ryan. We talked to each other yesterday. I'm going to put up 3 promotions. We picked who we thought would be the best fit for each promotion going forward, and then we'll talk about the releases and why we think they are good fits for these things. So here we go. There it is. All right, so in AEW, Ryan's got Ziggler. In New Japan, he's got Mustafa Ali, and in Impact, he's got Shelton Benjamin. And then I went with the women because I didn't want to have the same fucking faces up there, you know? Like, I didn't want to use Ziggler and Ali, the same people that got released. So I went a different way. I went with women. I got Aaliyah going to Impact. I got Dana Brooke going to Stardom. I didn't want to make another Stardom thing. And I've got Emma going to AEW. Now, I want to preface this by saying this is where I think they would be really good fits, not necessarily where I think they're going to go. I don't think Dana Brooke's going to go to Japan. All right.
Right.
But Club Venus would be a fucking perfect fit in Stardom for Dana Brooke to go over there with Mariah May and the rest of the crew. Emma has already been at Impact and succeeded at Impact. I think she has a lot of history with a lot of women that are in AEW right now, so I think she would fit really well. And with the them moving away from Toni Storm out of the Outcast, I even think that she would be a good fit with the Outcast group. And then Aaliyah, because there wasn't too many other people to choose from, and I think she could just do well with reps, honestly, in Impact and learn a lot from that division, because a lot of people still believe that Impact has the best women's division from top to bottom. So I feel like that would be a good spot for her. Now I'm going to give it to you, and you tell me why you think these would be great fits for the male side.
Well, Ziggler is obviously already friends with people over in AEW. His brother works there. He's been on BTE before. Like, he's familiar with all of them. You could do something with his brother to elevate his brother a little bit, who I think has a lot of, his comedic timing is very good. Like he's very funny on BT and stuff, and his brain is clearly a little bit different, and maybe having a little bit more star power attached to him would elevate him a little bit. But Ziggler's also somebody good to have around in the background who's, you know, been doing this for a really long time and has enough experience to be a good resource to other people. Benjamin would too, but I'm thinking about this from if they also wanted to wrestle, where would they fit in the best point of view? And I think Ziggler would just fit in better just because he could do tag team stuff with his brother or whatever the fuck they want to do there. And his style would work really well with, you know, like Kenny Omega or whoever. Everybody always says everybody could work with Kenny Omega, obviously, but there's other matches he could have there too. I wouldn't mind seeing a match with him and Pac again, something like that. Ali, I think would, and again, same as you, I didn't say that they're going to do this or that I think they were going to do this. This is just where I think they would fit in really well. Ali has been putting on a lot of weight lately, so I actually don't know if he would even be considered a junior anymore. But my thought when you asked me was that he could go to do like Best of Super Juniors or something like that and really stand out over there. I think he's got a good look. Like he's got a lot of personality where he can cut promos and stuff. I don't know how well that would translate to the Japanese audience. But as far as his in-ring work, I think it would translate really well. I really would like to see him doing like a Best of Super Juniors or something like that.
And he could also stay in the US a lot too because they have New Japan Strong as well. So he could do both.
Yeah. I think he'd be a good fit for their in-ring work and style, and even if not, like, he might pick up something from it that would help him stand out a little bit more too. Because, you know, I love him. I'd always liked seeing him. I thought his character work was really underrated. Everything he got handed was, you know, he turned it into something, and then had a lot of initiative going and doing his own stuff on the side too. A lot of his side promos that he would just put out on Twitter, even if they weren't ever part of the actual television programming or anything like that. It's like a creative dude. Is clearly, you know, somebody that cares a lot about it. Asked for his release when he felt like he wasn't being used good enough and stuff like that. So this is clearly somebody that cares about what he's doing. And I think that kind of mentality towards wrestling is one where if you send them into an environment like New Japan, they can pick up a lot of stuff and add it to their overall presentation and moveset and stuff like that. So I think that would be good for him just from a development point of view, not even just from like where he would fit in. But I would want to see him in matches with like Hiromu and stuff. I think that would be cool. Benjamin and Impact is, you know, you've got a talented veteran guy who, if he still does want to wrestle, can wrestle over there and put on good matches that would bring some interest to it because he is a bigger name than a lot of the people that they have over there currently, as far as just, you know, on his past accomplishments and stuff. Also somebody that could help out with producing matches, booking stuff, being an agent, whatever. So I don't know. I felt like of everybody that got released, if I was moving the other two to the other two already, that Benjamin probably fit the best in Impact.
I feel like he could win the Impact World title too, because he still can go
somewhere where he can be competitive if he wants to be competitive. Like, I think he stands out enough there to where nobody would question it if they booked him as like the main guy coming in. And, you know, obviously Impact has a bad history of doing that if we go back long enough. But I feel like Benjamin's a little bit different in the sense that he can actually fucking wrestle. So there you go.
All right, so let's talk about some of the other releases while we have this up here. Any names that shocked you that we haven't mentioned yet that got released?
Shocked me?
I mean, you could include Elias in that too, because I think his was announced a few days before that they just weren't going to renew him or his contract ran out or some shit. But you got Elias, you've got
Boogs,
Riddick Moss, Top Dollar, Matt Riddle.
I think the one that surprised me actually was Ali, because he had been doing shit. He literally had a match scheduled with.
I won't say it was Malachi Black or Aleister Black at the time. I wouldn't say it was that level, but yes, he was actually in the middle of a storyline.
They had a fucking graphic set up for it. He was booked to work at that.
Dude, nothing's more egregious than Aleister. That motherfucker literally started a feud with Big E.
Yeah, he came in, kicked him,
and then got released.
Got fucking released. God got released for a hate crime. Can't just come in and kick Big E. Come on. I don't know why they released him aside from the like they could have I don't it's funny to me because we don't know what goes on backstage. I wonder if they even brought it to him and said, "Hey, like you're on the chopping block for these releases that we have coming up, but do you want to finish this program?" And he said no. Or if they were just like, "Fuck it, fuck the program, we're gonna cut him anyway." Like I kind of wonder about stuff like that when it happens. We'll never know unless he gets on Talk as Jericho, I guess. But that's also another thing. Keep an eye out for who goes on Talk as Jericho. Then you'll know who's coming to AEW.
For sure. Because if they have a really good rapport with Jericho, Jericho's going to put a good word in for him, and they're going to fucking be signed.
Yeah,
I promise you.
I'm
crossing my fingers for that Ziggler episode.
Oh yeah, that'll be interesting. Did you
all
watch
the shit that he's had to deal with for the last whatever years, 10, 15 years, whatever he's been in the WWE? That's going to be interesting. I'm sure he has some stories for sure.
Did you watch the Mason Mansoor stream?
I did watch the first part. I didn't watch the second part and third part that they had because I went after the fact. I know they're going to go live again and talk about the Retribution angle.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't
I
go
wonder
back
if they'll
and
have
watch.
Ali on since he was a big part of it. One of the funnier stories on there to me, everybody's talking about the stupid shit, but one of the funniest ones to me was they said that it was apparently in Mansoor's contract that he, because of the Saudi deal, that he wasn't allowed to lose, not just at Saudi but ever.
In NXT, that's why they didn't have him in NXT yet.
Fucking crazy. And the other thing that was really funny was the story. I don't know if you caught this part, but the story about when he met like the prince's son or whatever, and his Arabic isn't as good as it used to be because he's been in the States for so long. So the prince's son apparently had asked him, in Arabic, like, "Oh, is wrestling real or is it fake?" And he got the Mansoor, because his Arabic isn't as good as it used to be, got the fucking words mixed up for which one means real and which one means fake. And he like tells the kid that wrestling is fake because he forgets which word it is. And the kid's like, "It's fake?" He's like, "Yeah, fake." So I thought that was probably the funniest thing to come out of that stream. I'll probably watch when they do another one. I am curious about the Retribution thing.
I'm curious to see what Rick Boogs follows up with, because whoever has him on or whenever he announces what happened, because he was saying some shit that was a bunch of political shit of why he didn't get pushed as soon as he started gaining some support in the fan base too. So that'll be interesting as well.
Yeah.
But like I said on Twitter, I think he was doomed as soon as he cut his hair. I think he was doomed anyway.
I agree. It took away the unique look that he had and just made him another big dude with a mustache, which is not super hard to find. Shame too. I wonder if that was his choice or if they told him to do that.
I think you can find out who's going to land comfortably just by the outpouring of support by the specific ones who got released.
Oh,
so
dude,
the three guys that Ryan mentioned on here, Ziggler, Ali, and Benjamin, they easily got the most support from their peers all over the place, except for Booker T, because Booker T's an asshole. But yeah, those three guys easily got the most support. And then I feel like Emma got the most support just because of a really terrible timing of her tweet.
They just had
oh my God. They announced that they're going to Elimination Chamber in Australia in 2024. And she says a dream come true at WWE. And then an hour later says, "Oops, never mind. I just got released." Holy shit. That sucks.
Yeah, I felt bad on that one. Dana Brooke getting released was also not.
Yeah, because she was talking about somebody being in the middle of something. She was in the middle of the NXT storylines, big time.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's surprising because I know that they've been waiting on her to stand out for a while, and I guess she just never has in the way that they're wanting her to. I guess is the best way to explain it. But yeah, I mean that kind of sucked. I wasn't a big fan of that. But
then,
I mean,
when you finally give her the chance to try to break out on her own and do something a little different away from the thing with not too many people's hands in the fucking process while in NXT, and she starts doing something, and then you immediately say, "Okay, now we're done." That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I didn't like too. I forget who it was. Was it Rhonda? They had Dana Brooke come out as like the only person willing to challenge for some open challenge for some bullshit. And they just had her get fucking squashed. I thought that sucked. I was like, she's been working really hard. You could give her a real fucking match.
Could have been Rhea. Was it Rhea?
Could have been Rhea. I don't remember who it was, but it wasn't super recent. But I just that stuck with me because I was like, that was a good chance to put her over in like an interesting way. Like she's the one that's brave enough to come out and do it. She has like an actual competitive match, and then it elevates her even if she loses. Versus just doing a fucking squash match, which elevates nobody.
You. I got a question for you. When you think of Liv Morgan, do you think singles or tag team wrestler? You think more of a singles wrestler, right?
Singles, yeah. Why?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So, do you know that Raquel Gonzalez won the tag titles with Aaliyah? They were tag team champions.
Uh-huh.
Why are you releasing people that you could... And then Raquel, she's done with the Rhea Ripley shit. Then what are you going to do with her? There's only 2 titles.
Why are we pretending that anybody gives any consideration to the women's tag titles?
I'm not, but I'm just saying, like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
You brought back Nia Jax and you released these 3? And it's not like I'm a huge Aaliyah fan or anything. I understand the hate that she gets or whatever. But putting I don't think she's egregiously bad or anything.
Yeah,
but putting her in a
like,
fucking tag team with Raquel Gonzalez again makes a lot more sense than bringing fucking Nia Jax back and releasing Emma, Dana Brooke, and Aaliyah.
Yeah. And the other thing too that I thought was kind of shit, but they do this a lot. Even aside from just like announcing their revenues and profits and stuff around the time that they do the releases,
what is that? I feel like they do that every time.
Well,
we just get information every time about how much money they made in a quarter, or how much money they made on this event, or how much money they just got paid from Australia to run this fucking event over there for Elimination Chamber. And then hours later, hey, there's 22 people. Y'all don't have jobs anymore. Sorry, budget cuts. What?
Well, that's because when they do the fiscal reporting, that's when they're looking at their numbers, and that's when they're saying, okay, what can we do to cut these numbers
$1.4 billion from the USA Network to get SmackDown. More money than Fox gave them. By the way, you're stupid, USA, for doing that. Did you not read the reports on how much money they were fucking bleeding? And then WWE doesn't care because they're only looking at money. They don't give a fuck about those ratings. They already got the money. So why do they give a fuck? Everybody knows the ratings are going to go from 2 million back down to 1 point whatever. And you're going to get rid of Raw and NXT in the meantime because you're getting this show instead. So you're trading. And it's not like USA is being like, oh, yeah, we got all this shit that we have to have fucking programming hours for.
Yeah.
So what are you about to fill that? What are you about to fill that back up with? That doesn't make any sense to me if I'm USA. There's no way I'm paying $1.4 billion for SmackDown to get rid of Raw and NXT. Now, I'm not saying that they won't keep it because they still could, but the reports are that they're not going to have it. It's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. The other interesting thing about that too is I wonder if they're looking
5 hours of programming for 2, and you paid $1.4 billion for it.
Surely they're looking at these numbers and understand too. Like I hope they're not looking at SmackDown numbers and saying, oh shit, they get almost twice as many viewers as Raw does. If we pull them over onto our network, they're also going to keep doing 2 million. Like they do that because they're on Fox. That's why. It's not because like twice as many people just love SmackDown over Raw.
Although I do love SmackDown over Raw, comparatively speaking.
The
I do love SmackDown
really
a lot more than Raw.
Anymore, but like, yeah, I obviously, forecasting is part of my job, and statistical analysis is part of my job, and data visualization and stuff like that. So when I look at stuff like that, the first thing I think about is like, I wonder how they're looking at it. And surely they've also got people within their company that are like, yeah, we shouldn't expect to see those same numbers when they come over. But I don't know how you look at the reports that Fox was losing so much money buying that program at the price they bought it for, then buy the same program knowing that you're not even going to fucking hit the numbers that they were. It doesn't make any sense.
All right. So those are our thoughts on the releases, the new deal with WWE. and all that bullshit. Let's talk about a little something.
Hold on. What I was going to say, aside from them announcing revenues, was that then they also had The Rock come out. You know, he didn't do that shit for free.
Correct, and Pat McAfee.
Yeah, so you fucking drop all these dudes and you're like, yeah, we'll pay The Rock a fucking $500,000 to show up on a random ass SmackDown. It was fucking stupid, man.
Not only that, you don't forget you're paying Cena as well. They both don't have jobs right now because of the strikes, which is why they're showing up in WWE to begin with.
Yeah.
Got to have some money incoming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Not saying that they don't have money from obviously various other revenues, especially The Rock, but still, it ain't like they're not feeling that. They're feeling it. So it's a lot easier for wrestlers to get that workaround, that reach around from Vince and company because they don't have to deal with the fucking strikes and shit. Could you imagine if wrestling had to deal with the strikes and we didn't have wrestling for this whole time? Oh, that'd be fucking brutal.
I want to ask when Mason Mansour do their stream next. I want to go into chat and ask them what the consensus or talk among wrestlers backstage is about unionizing, like how much is even brought up, or like to what capacity it's brought up. I think it'd be interesting.
All right, let's talk about this. Cody pulling strings. I need to know this from a kayfabe standpoint. So Cody somehow magically got Jey Uso traded to Raw, right? So this was his doing somehow. Cody can pull this off, but he's supposed to be the all-American dude that's doing shit the right way and all this bullshit. And then he turns around and has connections within WWE, gets Jey Uso to be pulled over to Raw, and then Adam Pearce says, hey, you know we got to send somebody back for you, right, Jay? We all know that this is all a fucking thing just to get Cody back to SmackDown. Why did they do it this way instead of just fucking having Cody Rhodes drafted to SmackDown at the draft, which we've talked about on this show incessantly?
Because then they would have had no excuse not to do the Cody versus Reigns rematch, like way faster. They needed to delay.
They could have, dude, I've already said this on the show. They could have delayed it the same way because they had Roman on fucking Raw with Solo Sikoa right after the draft, right after WrestleMania, with Lesnar turning on him, and you could have done that on SmackDown the exact same way.
Yeah. None of it makes sense, dude.
Also, I will say this. Not only that, did Cody really need to talk to the upper people, the upper management to get Jey Uso? Like, they didn't want Jey Uso. They just said, nah, Jey Uso's going to retire. He's done with wrestling. We're not even going to fucking contact him to see if he wants to come to Raw. Really?
Literally, all they had to do was say, like, it's such a volatile situation between Jey and Roman that we have to, for everybody's safety, like, have them get in a few backstage fights 2 or 3 times. And then just be like, yeah, for everybody's safety, we have to move Jey over to Raw. And then, well, to do that, though, we do have to move somebody over. And then just fucking move Cody over there. That's it.
Okay, so bad. I hate everything that they've done since the draft.
Better fucking storyline in like 10 seconds off the top of my head. Like, what are we doing?
Ever since the draft, man, the Bloodline storyline has just been complete garbage to me.
It seems like they're trying as hard as they can to draw it out as long as they can.
But they could have drawn it out the same way, or the same amount of time, I mean. Just in a different way that made way more sense. Hire Will Washington over at WWE too to make this shit continuity fucking make sense, because it doesn't make any sense. The storyline doesn't flow at all. It's dumb. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they're writing week to week. They don't have like a large arc that they plan on aside from Roman Reigns doing something at WrestleMania. Still don't know who yet, and that might be why there's no long arc for it too. They don't know if The Rock is going to be available yet.
Oh my God. I mean, with WWE's luck, they're going to settle on The Rock, and then the strikes are going to be settled, and he's going to be fucking filming Moana live action, and he's not going to be at WrestleMania no more. That's how that's going to work. Yeah. And it's like, oh, fuck, I guess we got to put Cody back in there.
So the news as of 13 hours ago was that Hollywood Studios send best and final offer as deal nears on strike. So
I don't mean shit. If their best and final offer ain't going to be their best and final offer if they fucking turn around and said, no, that's not even close. Yeah. And then they're going to be like, whoa, I guess that's not our best and final offer. Because there's no way you're about to just fucking randomly pull people off the streets to fucking act in movies and shit. You can't do that. They're all under this same umbrella.
That's technically the WGA one, not the SAG one, but still, yeah, same idea. You're not just gonna pull new writers out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah,
either.
that too, because like the craziest part about this is like it's the perfect storm because it's both the writers and the actors at the same time. Yo, that's brutal. That's brutal.
Well, Chelsea's on production right now for something. I don't think I can say what it is, but it's in production. And they delayed by a few weeks even starting the pre-production stuff because of this. So the fact that it's still ongoing, and that started mid-August, late August, and now it's still another almost month later. This is still fucking ongoing. Is crazy. I don't know if they're even looking at delays right now. They've got to be, because you would think. I think their pre-production is normally like a month or two, most and I think this is a movie and not a series. I don't know. I have to go look at the details on it again. It might actually be a series, but yeah, I don't know. It's getting to the point now where I know that Apple Studios canceled something that we'd had in production for a while that kept getting put off, and then as soon as the strike started, we were just like, "Fuck it!" Like, us rescheduling everything is going to take way too much time. I say us. I'm not in that line of business, but I am with that company. I forget what the fucking thing was. It was some IP that we had rights for. So yeah, I mean, it could go on for a while. We'll see. I don't know that it goes all the way until WrestleMania. I don't think the problem is with production companies and film companies, they've already got so much money into plans at this point. We've got these things reserved, we've got these people set aside, we've got like this location set up or scouted or whatever the fuck that we need to shoot by X amount of time, or we lose whatever on it. We got whatever sets already pre-made or have already contracted whatever fucking work. And then by the time these deadlines start rolling around, they start to feel more pressure. So I'm surprised that they haven't put forward a better offer yet, because they've got to be hemorrhaging money at this point too. Because they're not losing money like right this second, but this gap in content creation is going to cost them like a year from now. So we'll see.
They'll just try to fucking hike up all the streaming service prices again, and then people are going to be like, nah, fuck that, because you don't have anything to fucking bring out for us because you were all down for so long. So there is no more original. There's no original programming being fucking filmed right now. So they're going to try to make up for it, and it's not going to work. I got a bad feeling about the short-term future of streaming for sure.
Yeah. The other thing is too is that I don't know how this is something that I guess old people remember. You know me. A long time ago, like there was a Hollywood writers' strike. And the big, I think it's like 2007. The big thing that came out of that writer's strike was like a really big explosion in reality TV shows, because reality TV, they're not members of SAG-AFTRA. They're not considered actors at all. They're just even though they're getting acting direction because it's not all fucking real. But reality TVs are not considered the same thing. They don't have writers necessarily. They don't have actors necessarily. They're not all union workers. The production crew often is, but production crew is not part of this current strike. It's actors and writers. So I think it was 2007 was the writer's strike that really exploded a lot of the reality TV bullshit. And I would be surprised if something similar doesn't happen if this goes on for another couple months.
What? How many fucking other? I mean, I feel like they ran reality TV into the ground as far as ideas go, though. I did see that like Survivor's coming back again. Like, holy shit! So that might have already started, honestly.
Maybe. Run back Fear Factor, baby.
Let's talk about some influx of talent here. Influx incoming. You got Jade Cargill returning to AEW just to turn around and possibly go to WWE, which are the reports. Red Velvet is returning soon, according to reports to AEW. And then, of course, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Nia Jax got brought back to WWE. The influx of women's talent, and before the releases, obviously. But I guess technically they could be an influx at other places, as I said, when I said that what their perfect fits and shit would be. Do you feel like this influx of talent of people coming back is going to be good for these different women's divisions going forward? Because I feel like we had a lull period there in women's divisions across the board, and now it's kind of on the upswing again. Do you feel the same way? Like, do you feel like it's kind of coming back?
I don't think the issue was ever a lack of talented people to book, though. It's just that it's not being booked. So I don't know. I don't think so.
What do you think? Okay, so how do you think and how you would book Jade Cargill and WWE? I guess are two different things. Obviously, based off of where she's gone.
Yeah.
Do you find it weird that she had just came out with the women's wrestling podcast or whatever the hell it was called, and was talking about how much she loved Tony Khan and AEW and how he was the best boss, and then like a week later, he gets brought in to lose to Statlander again, and then seemingly is now out the door and going to WWE? That's weird to me.
Not really, because she can have no problems with Tony Khan and think he's a great boss, and the offer that WWE is giving her is twice as much as Tony Khan is going to give her. So she still has no problems with Tony, but yeah, I'm going to take the other fucking offer, and he's going to be like,
I completely understand building your brand, but guess what else WWE can do? They can ruin your brand as well. They can fuck your shit up.
Yeah. But I also feel like she would be the type to... It's not like she needs to wrestle. That's the thing, too.
Yeah. No. You think she'd be like a lot closer to the personality of like a Mercedes Moné type deal, where if I feel like I'm getting fucked over here, I'm just going to walk out the fucking door type deal.
And not even just because of what she can do herself, but also she's already married to somebody that's also got like their own like very massively wealthy and successful career, too. So she's not in a position where she has to put up with any bullshit. So, you know. And I think that was probably part of it more for her too, taking the WWE stuff than money necessarily, because again, it's not like she's in a position where she needs, you know, if it's an extra 300K or some shit on a 300K contract that she's already got, like 300K is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money compared to what their household has because of her husband. So it's not, you know, and it's not something she couldn't make doing side stuff.
But that's my point, is like this has to be brand related, because like you said, she doesn't need the money.
But that's what I'm saying, is that I feel like if they ever suggested anything or tried to get her to do anything that she thought would be like harmful to the brand or whatever, she's got to have some sort of creative control clause to some extent that allows her to not do that shit, or she could just walk. It's not like that's never happened in WWE either, because she doesn't need wrestling. She could just fucking walk and let the contract expire.
I'm pulling for her, obviously, and I will be keeping tabs on what she does, but I just think that she would have been better off staying in AEW under Danielson and Hero and everybody that they have there, Omega, like that, helping out.
Yeah, but you know what the pitch was? It's going to be like, here's how many impressions we get on our social medias every fucking day versus AEW's, and here's how much more exposure you would get. It's that kind of shit.
I just feel like Jade would have been. She still had that babyface run in her though. Like you heard the crowd pop for her when she turned on the Renegade Twins. Mm-hmm. And helped out Statlander, and I was like, dude, she could be a massive face. And Goldberg style that shit, where she's just running through motherfuckers like Wardlow and shit like that, and it would be fine, and everybody would be okay with it. I feel like that was a missed opportunity for sure.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how they book her when they do bring her in, but
especially now that what makes it weird is that you just brought Nia Jax back, who's supposed to be a beast, and going against Rhea Ripley and the Raquels and shit that are the other beasts, and she's obviously going to out beast them or whatever. And then you got Jade coming in right after that to do what? The exact same thing, to take out Nia? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
I was actually, before you even said Nia, I was thinking like, what they'll probably put her on whatever arc Nia is about to do. So you have her come in, be dominant over somebody, but not in an actual match. Probably lose a match, and then remain middling around like near the top, beating up on people, but never really doing it. I don't know, man.
I mean, I guess it depends on how long the contract is, but like if I'm looking at fucking Cargill versus Rhea, that's fucking money, because that's TikTok, right? Like they're both huge on TikTok. They're both huge on social media by a lot. Like I don't think people realize how big Rhea Ripley is outside of wrestling. Jade as well. So that would be the money match to me. But depending on how big the contract is, I might put Cargill on SmackDown and not just throw her right in against Rhea and kind of save it type deal. Maybe like a showdown at Royal Rumble when they're both in the Royal Rumble match type deal and cross paths or whatever to gauge the audience, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Jade makes a lot more sense on a SmackDown, because you still got insane matchups over there too, though. Charlotte, Asuka, Io, Bianca. So, I mean, that'd be cool too. And then kind of save it. But I guess it all depends on what her contract is and how fast they're, because I've heard reports that say that she's not going to NXT. She's going straight to the main roster. So I feel like they're paying her a shit ton of money for it if that's the case.
Yeah, probably better
it's a
too,
short
because
contract.
she's got whatever recognition. I'm still surprised they put Dragon Lee over there. It must just be like they didn't think that with the language barrier or something that he could work American television.
I don't know
star.
if it's
I don't
language
fucking
barrier.
know.
I think it's because Rey Mysterio is still very active in the company, and they're just going to wait till Rey Mysterio is not as active in the company anymore.
What's that got to do with anything?
I just
Can't
think
have more
because
than one luchador?
they were talking about him being the next Rey Mysterio.
You can't have more than one luchador?
Can't have more than one Rey Mysterio
You don't need more than one Rey Mysterio. Dragon Lee's better than Rey Mysterio.
right now. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's going to necessarily have the same career longevity and accomplishments or whatever, but like as far as
Well, he definitely isn't
in-ring
if they're
work.
not going to fucking book him properly. Fucking keep losing to fucking Dominic. What do you think about
Yeah.
Red Velvet? You excited to see Red Velvet come back at all?
I mean, I'm not like down on it or anything. It's one of those things where we'll see what they do with her.
It's interesting because the whole baddie thing with Jade, Red Velvet, and Kiera Hogan, it felt like that was going to be beneficial to all of them. And now you're losing Jade. Red Velvet's been out forever, and Kiera Hogan's losing Julia Hart on Collision. And I'm kind of like, nobody was better off in the end from that when it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume that you're not excited at all that Nia Jax is back.
No, I'd fucking just no. She fucked up a move already. I don't know how you've been there for 30 seconds and fuck up a move. Crazy.
Well, let's not act like she was Edge getting ready for her return back with a wrestling ring in the backyard. Like, let's be real here. She was fucking chilling. She was chilling doing Instagram dances with fucking Mojo Rawley. Let's be real here. Or TikTok dances, rather.
The other thing about that is too, with her wrestling style, she probably feels like she doesn't have to do a lot of training because it's all picking up people that are way fucking smaller than you.
And
It'd be like if
crashing
you
them.
told,
Yes.
yeah, I doubt if Paul White were ever going to make a fucking ring return. He's out there running ropes,
I'm just telling you, yeah, I agree. That's my thing. I'm not shocked that she messed up a move 30 seconds in to her return.
Oh my god.
All right, let's try to end this with a positive note here. I think I got one more thing here.
Don't listen. We're pretty good about not shitting on wrestlers.
I will say this: Devil's
Nia
advocate.
Jax
I think she gets more hate than she deserves. I think people would go a little bit too far with it. But I could do that with a lot of wrestlers that people like too. So let's be real here. But I don't. But let's stay positive here. I want a little new segment here with the DDP smiling face up there. Let's say something positive that happened in wrestling this week. What's something that you like? What's something that you liked that happened this past week in wrestling? There's a lot of negative stuff like there is every week. A lot of people bitching about everything. You had the bad releases. You got Nia Jax's botches. You've got all kinds of shit going on.
I like the Workhorsemen finally getting some of the respect that they
you like
deserve
that?
for the
Did you
time
like
they
that?
put in. Yeah, that was a good match.
I like the reaction he got from doing the Vader fucking moonsault. That was pretty cool. Like people lost their shit from that.
I wish they had slowed down that count a little bit more though, because the ref counts it a little bit too quick. So Dax kicked out. Like it was like if he had done a 1, 2, there would have been a little bit more drama to it. But yeah, I thought that was cool. Workhorsemen getting some of their flowers is cool. Getting some prominence.
Oh, speaking of Workhorsemen, how about that other tag team from the week before? I love the Iron Savages, dude.
Oh yeah.
I love them.
I don't like.
I think they did a great job reinventing themselves and coming back and now being on TV regularly. They got that old school, that late 80s, early 90s tag team vibe with the promos and shit. I could do without the drink at the beginning of each match, like he's fucking Festus ringing the bell or whatever, that he has to have that part. But everything else about it is cool as fuck to me. I like it. They really give me the same vibes as the Pacific Northwestern tag team, the Hammer Brothers. So if you don't know who the Hammer Brothers are, you should look them up. They're fucking hilarious too. I would love to see the Hammer Brothers versus the Iron Savages at some point. That'd be great. But yeah, I really like them as well and what they're doing currently. I feel like they're a bigger threat in the tag team division than the Workhorsemen. Or could be. I'll say or could be.
I want to see them versus the Outrunners. That's what I want to see.
Oh, Outrunners. Yes, I love the Outrunners too. Yes. I actually signed them in my NWA save. Okay, so I had them with Zicky Dice, and they're called Outlandish on Arrival is the name of the stable name. I have Zicky Dice with the Outrunners. Love them. Love them.
The youngest men alive shit is hilarious to me. Um, what else? Oh, the setup for Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. I'm excited to see that. So that was cool that they started doing that at the New Japan show. Also, the entire segment that they did with it was pretty interesting too. They had a little. They didn't get into it, but they kind of teased getting into it and dodged each other and shit. It was. You should watch it if you didn't see it. I thought all of Collision was actually not bad. Christian Cage finally getting the title that he
Do you feel like it
deserves.
flows better with Danielson in charge of it more now than
I don't
when
know how
Punk
much
was
he's
in charge of it?
but I do feel like the product is better right now. It doesn't feel so disjointed from everything else, which is a good thing. So just for
You know what I
continuity
won't. This is definitely not for this segment here, but I forgot that I have in my notes here. There was a lot of
hold on,
talk.
man. You do your
There was a lot of
positive stuff
talk.
first.
There was a lot of talk about throughout the week. Somebody had posted something, and I almost lost my shit. Definitely not positive in a positive way. Could WWE introduce a mid-card women's title, and I almost lost my mind. No, they can't even have a tag title. No, that's the dumbest idea. Why would they have a mid-card title?
Yeah, they're not booking the main titles very well, so why would you give them another thing to book? That's weird. Not positive though.
No, that's not. So let's get back on the positive train here.
The Danielson Starks match was good.
I'm going to say something positive about Julia Hart, because I saw somebody say Julia Hart's entrance is fire, and then the bell rings, and I was like, so you're implying that she's not a good wrestler? Because I feel like she's doing great with what her character is supposed to be doing.
That suplex shit that she did the other day, that was cool as fuck.
I love her Rings of Saturn finisher too.
Thing. Yeah.
Or the variation. It's a variation of the Rings of Saturn, but yeah, I love that move too.
I've got no problem with her wrestling. I think she wrestles fine.
And I love that she still hasn't broke character either, because I don't know if I could be doing it. If I was whatever she is, like 20, 21, whatever the hell, however old she is, when she did the part where she did that cool move out the corner and then stayed in the corner and kept the straight face, I don't know if I could have kept the straight face. I don't know if I could have done it. I think she's doing really good. Like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Then the bell rings. What? I thought the match was solid. She's better than Anna Jay right now.
I've seen them say the same thing about Britt Baker too, though.
Yeah, like, I mean, I feel like these people don't know what they're talking about.
Thing, and then when she starts wrestling is bad. Like, Britt is not a bad wrestler. You're fucking delusional.
It's crazy because they're like, a lot of people talk all this shit about all these women's wrestlers, right? All these women's wrestlers, and then wonder why people like WWE and AEW only give the titles to the same 4 women constantly. Yeah. Because you keep shit on everybody else. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. It does make it hard for. Well, the other part of that is too, and let's be real. The ones that they pass it back and forth to, they are distinctly more talented than some of the people on the undercard.
I wouldn't say they're more talented, but I will say that they figured it out faster. What works and doesn't work for them and their characters. I'll say that.
They're currently more complete wrestlers. Let's put it that way.
Okay, yeah.
So I understand the passing it back and forth between the same people, and you don't trust the other people to carry the division. But the other part of that is, at some point, you have to take that chance and put it on somebody that you wouldn't otherwise do it just for the sake of the product to build somebody up or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not also going to sit here and say that, yeah, Bianca Belair is fucking great, but I'm not going to say that she's 4 levels higher than fucking Willow Nightingale or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So, like, I don't understand what we're shitting on back and forth. And, like, if Bianca is showing her feats of strength and not fucking people up in the ring like a Nia Jax or what have you.
Positive.
Yeah, exactly. And if she's getting that and she's getting the ball and running with it, then why are we shitting on it? Like, you should be happy for her because she's figured it out. That doesn't make any sense to be shitting on that.
My thought on that when I was making that comment was less about like the Willow Nightingales and more about like the Aaliyahs, but I take your point. Yeah.
No, I think Aaliyah's better than. Okay, so the funny thing is like a lot of people will say Aaliyah is trash in the ring or whatever, and like she was in NXT for 8 years. Why didn't she learn anything? How many matches did she have though? Yeah. Even when she was in NXT, it wasn't like she was wrestling every fucking week. You got to get reps, dude. You have to have reps to get better. Everybody knows this. You can't fucking sit there and be like, oh, because she was chilling in fucking catering for 8 years, that she should now be a really good wrestler on SmackDown. That's not how that works.
Yeah. Other positive stuff. Let's see. RVD. He had a really fucking good showing at the
RVD
end.
is so deceptively still good because
Yeah.
when he walks out to the ring, I'm
Yeah,
like,
he looks
he
like-
should
yeah.
not be out here.
Like, man, you didn't stretch or anything, but then he
He
gets out
should
there.
not be out
Yeah.
here. He's got the my dad's bod thing, where like at the big chest type shit, and then just dips off, and it looks like he's like somebody blew up his rib cage type deal. He looks weird, and then as soon as he gets tagged in, he's doing all the moves that he was doing. Obviously, they're slower, but they're not. It's not like, oh man, he needs to hang it up type deal. He's still very fluid in the fucking ring. Like, it's weird.
It's crazy because during his walkout on the ramp, he always looks so fucking tight and like tense. Like his mobility, it doesn't look like he's got like full mobility or whatever. But as soon as he gets like hot tag, fucking in the ring, whatever.
This is
like
the one Rob Van Dam I
up.
don't want to
It's
get.
crazy.
This is the one version of Rob Van Dam I don't want to get frog splashed by because of that big ass chest thing that he's got going on right now. Like, fuck that. That's a no for me.
Yeah, he got hooked to corpse too, which was nice. At the end of the match, right before the commercial break, he goes out there and stands like Taz used to, right beside Hook, and Hook starts laughing. Let's see, what else happened?
Well, I want to say something about positive about Impact. Their 1,000th show or whatever the fuck it was that they had, the Impact 1000. They brought a bunch of the old people back and stuff like that. I thought that was very well done. I thought they did a really good job with that. Sucks that Gail Kim got a concussion, but other than that, everything else was, I mean, I thought they did really good. For like, that's better than like Raw 1000 when they just bring people out and they just steal time from people. Like, these people were actually in matches together and stuff like that. I thought it was very well done. Impact 1000 was a great show.
Always an honorable positive mention to Juice Robinson.
Juice Robinson. Who doesn't love Juice Robinson, dude?
Jesus
He's
Christ.
probably dude, talk about somebody I had no interest in when he came over to now being like my favorite.
Yeah.
Because when he first came over, I think he just was thrown into a thing with Samoa Joe for the TV title in Ring of Honor and lost, and then kind of disappeared for a little bit until until Jay White came, or they knew Jay White was coming, so they kind of started the thing with Ricky Starks, and then he joined up with Jay White or whatever. But for when he first came in, it was like, oh, he's just gonna get kind of lost in the shuffle with everybody else. To now being where he is in the stable is fucking great, dude. Great. And I watched did you watch the new video with Bullet Club Gold where he still doesn't have the nickname?
Trying to get a PO box mail in.
Yeah, the PO box, yeah.
Yeah. When during the Andrade match, you're watching it, and then all of a sudden you just hear fucking screaming off screen.
At Shining Polaris, Christine on Twitter, who's she does the yarn bucks. If you don't know, she does a bunch of yarns versions of AEW wrestlers and stuff. Anyway, she was in the front row, and Juice Robinson had the card blade and put it in front of him, and was like, "Sorry, you're not gonna be able to see this match." I was like, "Fuck, that's fucked up, dude. That's so fucked up." They're just watching the back of fucking card blade the whole time. So funny.
Yeah. It's good to see Andrade wrestle again. That was good.
Yeah, because I never understand what they're doing with him, because it's like he'll wrestle one match and then be gone for a month and then come back and wrestle another match. And it sucks because they're doing all that stuff with Roosh with Andrade's stable. So it's like, why isn't he involved in that?
I guess they're waiting for a way to bridge that story, but I mean, you don't have to wait. You can just fucking do it. You just have Andrade show up and be like, "Hey, what the fuck's going on?"
Why aren't we doing LFI versus fucking Bullet Club Gold? I don't understand.
That could be where they're going, because they did have a 4-on-1 fucking situation at the end.
Yeah, now Juice is fucking fighting Andrade next week on Collision.
Yeah.
So
maybe
they
could do another beatdown angle and then have Roosh and.
But it's weird because who are we cheering for? Because like, if we're going based off fans' reaction, they love Roosh. Don't get me wrong, and they love Andrade, but they love Bullet Club Gold, dude. Bullet Club Gold is over as heels right now. Like, I feel like they would get the reaction over LFI with Preston Vance and Dralistico not really having any overness to the crowd right now.
Yeah, I mean that's not their fault either, but it's just Preston's been out so long and they were heels for so long. And Jay and
do we feel like
funny?
Speaking of, okay, so Guevara turns on Jericho a la Jericho did to Shawn Michaels, right? Even had the same colored tights on at WrestleMania when it happened at Safeco. I believe it was Safeco. Anyway, so you still got the stable that left Jericho as well, who are still heels. Guevara turns on him, he's a heel. Jericho, who comes off as a heel, is the face. If it was you backstage right now and you're Tony Khan, is there any part of you that's like pulling Anna Jay in and be like, do you want to go back to Dark Order? I would put her back in Dark Order. What's the point of her right now?
They did just run a little vignette thing.
Yeah, and they're bad guys too now because they're pretending that they're good even though they're bad or whatever. Dark Order is good. Like, why not get Anna Jay back? Yeah,
they could do that. They'd probably, they'd have to bridge it with some skit on BTE. But yeah, they could do that. Yeah, that makes sense. Because it doesn't really make sense for her to be hanging out with the other one, since the whole reason that she went to the other group to begin with was because Jericho was getting her matches or whatever the fuck the story was at the time. So yeah. Could do that.
You could even do it where Anna Jay goes up to them, and because they're the heels, they're like, no, we don't want you back. And kind of slightly turn Anna back into a face almost, like people are feeling bad for her or whatever. And then Anna gets beat down by somebody or whatever after a match or something like that, and Outcast, anybody really. And Dark Order comes out and saves her type deal.
Just beats him up. Yeah, there you go.
No, just backs them off. They don't have to beat them up. Jesus Christ, dude.
If they're gonna be heels, you have Alex and John Silver.
No one's going to boo Dark Order for destroying Saraya and Ruby Soho, bro. There's no way.
Flex into the whole fucking combo on Saraya on the concrete. We'll see.
You know what would be cool though? Even though they still wouldn't, she could still stay heel. Her biggest connection, besides John Silver, was Stu. So why not have her join the Righteous when the Dark Order deny her re-entry into the Dark Order, and then she goes to the Righteous with Vincent, Dutch, and Stu? That'd be cool.
Could do that, or you just pair her with Jungle Boy when he gets back.
Yeah, because he's an asshole now too. Yeah, that works too. Actually, yeah, there's a lot of things they could do with her for somebody that doesn't ever get any reps. Yeah, like there's things that you could do with Anna Jay. It's kind of crazy. All right.
Well, Jack's out right now too, so.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I get that. All right, so I guess
might I add?
Huh?
Unfairly, might I add?
No, it's not unfair.
It's not unfairly.
Based off of what Tony Khan said, there's no way that Jack wasn't going to get suspended too. There's none.
Unfairly.
Anyway.
He did nothing wrong.
Yeah, okay. He did a lot of stuff wrong, actually, but all right.
I'm saying he did nothing wrong.
That'll do it for the show today. I'm glad to be back. Hopefully I feel a lot better next week because I've been coughing all over the show. I don't know how many times I actually got it caught on the live feed here. But we will be back. I want to say we need to do something Friday or Saturday for the predictions for WrestleDream. Our first ever WrestleDream prediction show. I might do that live. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes. I might not do it live, actually, depending on, because sometimes we do that shit really late. I did it or whatever.
I'm on a weird schedule Monday through Thursday, but I think Friday I'm back on my normal 2 to 11. Got me on some training design, instructional design shit team. So
I'm gonna try to do it Friday after you get off. It ain't no big deal. If we're gonna not do it live and I'm just gonna record it and then upload it, we can do it whenever. As long as it's Friday or early Saturday, so I actually have time to put it up before the pay-per-view, obviously. So that'll be coming up next on our channel.
Saturday, Friday.
Appreciate all the new subscribers and stuff while we've been out. Kind of shocking to see. But it's been cool, and hopefully we get back on a regular process here because, I've only got like 10% taste and smell at the moment, which sucks. What?
It's coming back though. You said 0 the other day, right?
No, it was really close to 0, yeah. Like super close to 0. But yeah, it's about 10% smell and taste right now. Hopefully that changes. I've been trying to eat a lot of different stuff. Like a lot of different variables of spices and taste and shit to try to help it out and kickstart it. Smelling a lot of essential oils and shit I read that's supposed to help. So We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Let's stay positive and
Getting
see
in that-
hopefully that I don't
Get in
know.
that crystal girl side of the internet and just rub some fucking quartz on it, baby.
Yeah. Get a magical spell or something going.
Yeah. Just bury a jar of your fucking teeth. Yeah, I think mine went away in about 4 or 5 days, so you should be alright.
Mine's definitely been longer than that.
I just meant the taste thing specifically, not the whole thing.
All right. That'll do it for the show, though. I don't know what I'm gonna rock for the. I'm gonna rock some shoes for the prediction show. I don't know which ones yet, though.
Something dreamy.
Something dreamy.
Yeah, because it's WrestleDream.
WrestleDreamy. I don't know if I have any dreamy shoes.
Don't have anything with like little thought clouds on it, or like.
No, I got Space Hippies. Space
enough.
Hippies by Nike.
Close
I
enough.
don't know. I'll figure something out. I feel like these are WrestleDreamy, the ones that I wore today. What are you talking about?
Are yours the ones with the light blue sole?
Yes. Well, they're light blue, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of counts.
They're light blue with like a denimish blue mesh on the top part. Yeah, those ones.
Gotcha.
Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Hope you enjoyed the show. Deuces.
Later.